The wisdom of time. The sun was setting over the small village of Willowbrook, painting the sky with hues of orange and gold. On an old wooden bench, beneath a sprawling oak tree, sat old man Clarence, known for his wisdom and sharp memory. He was the person villagers sought for advice. His long white beard and withered face carried the marks of a life well lived. That evening, a young man named David approached him and said, "Please help me." David was a bright yet restless soul, often distracted by fleeting pleasures and prone to procrastination. He had no concerns for his future. He delayed in doing important tasks. He fell behind in his studies and other important aspects of life. His family was worried about his nonchalant behavior. He had recently confided in Clarence about his struggles to focus on his goals. As David sat beside him, Clarence looked at him with kind yet piercing eyes. "David," he began, "life is like this oak tree. It starts from a small seed, and every moment you water it, it grows. But neglect it for too long, and it withers. Let me tell you a story. The tale of Thomas the Dreamer. Years ago," Clarence continued, "there was a young man named Thomas in this very village. He was intelligent, ambitious, and full of dreams. His father owned a small carpentry business, and Thomas had a natural talent for crafting beautiful furniture. His father often told him, 'Son, this is your time to learn the trade and expand the business. The world is full of opportunities, but you must seize them when they come.' But Thomas always thought he had time. He would delay in doing important tasks. Tomorrow, he would say. Next week, perhaps, he spent his days idling with friends, distracted by fleeting joys. One day, a wealthy merchant from a nearby town came to their shop. He was so impressed by Thomas's works that he offered him a partnership to create luxury furniture for the nobility. The offer was generous and could have changed Thomas's life. But Thomas hesitated. He said, "Let me think about it for a while." Weeks turned into months, and the merchant moved on, finding another eager craftsman in another town. Years later, Thomas looked back with regrets. The carpentry business had dwindled, and his father had passed on. The opportunities he once had were gone. He spent the rest of his days crafting small items to make ends meet, always haunted by what could have been. Clarence paused, letting the weight of the story settle in. "David," he said, "you remind me of Thomas. Bright, capable, but letting time slip through your fingers. Opportunities don't wait. They come like the morning dew, beautiful and fleeting. If you don't act, the sun rises and they vanish." David looked down, reflecting on his own habit of procrastination. "But old man Clarence, how do I change? It feels so hard to stay focused." Clarence smiled. "Start small, set goals, and stick to them. Don't wait for the perfect moment. It never comes. Learn from those who have walked before you. I missed my share of opportunities too. When I was younger, I had a chance to travel abroad for education. But I delayed, thinking there would always be another chance. There wasn't. I have made peace with my choices. But I tell you this so you don't carry the same regrets." "Thank you very much, Clarence. I will definitely work hard to make you proud," said David. David left the bench that evening with a newfound resolve and determination. He spent the night reflecting on his life. He realized how much time he had wasted chasing short-term pleasures instead of working towards his long-term goals. He began to prioritize his goals, working hard to complete his education and pursue his dreams. Whenever he felt tempted to delay, he remembered Clarence's words and the story of Thomas. David wrote down his dreams and broke them down into achievable milestones. Instead of vague aspiration, he created a detailed plan for each goal, assigning timelines and actions to accomplish them. David knew that procrastination had been his biggest obstacle, so he developed strategies to stay disciplined and focused. David had a daily routine. He woke up early each morning, allocating time for studying, learning digital skills, and also exercising. He adopted prioritization method, focusing on the most important tasks and completing one significant task each day. David eliminated distractions. He reduced his time on social media and avoided idle hangouts with friends who weren't supportive of his ambition. It wasn't easy at first. There were days he felt tempted to return to his old habits, but he reminded himself of Clarence's words, "Opportunities don't wait." David continued acting on opportunities he had previously ignored. He sought extra help from his professors and joined study groups to improve his academic performance. By his final year, he graduated among the top students in his class. Remembering Clarence's advice about practical skills, David enrolled in an online courses to learn web design and digital marketing. He practiced relentlessly, even taking on small freelance projects to sharpen his expertise. David attended community workshops and entrepreneurial seminars to meet like-minded individuals. Through these connections, he found mentors and business partners who would later play crucial roles in his success. David's efforts began to bear fruits as he applied his newfound discipline and skills. Within a year, David became a sought-after web designer, earning more than he ever imagined from freelance projects. His work was recognized for its creativity and professionalism. With his savings and knowledge, David launched a digital marketing agency that helped small businesses in his village and nearby towns establish an online presence. His agency grew rapidly, employing several young people and boosting the local economy. David used his success to give back. He started free workshops for young people, teaching them the skills that had transformed his life. Many of his students went on to secure jobs and start their own businesses. David's hard work earned him awards from local and regional organizations for his contributions to youth empowerment and entrepreneurship. Years later, David reflected on his transformation. The young man who had once wasted his days on trivial pursuits was now a role model in his community. He often spoke about how small, consistent efforts could lead to significant achievements. When he returned to the bench under the oak tree, Clarence was no longer there. He had passed on, leaving behind his wisdom. David, however, had become the embodiment of Clarence's teachings, inspiring others to seize their opportunities and make the most of their time. David's story became a reminder to the people of Willowbrook that no matter how far one has strayed, it is never too late to change and achieve greatness. Thank you very much for watching.